Today on the Rockabilly Arts, we are, well, really I could call this 6 different ways not to do a two-tone with a CNC router, but we'll see if this works. I think it was Thomas Edison who once said, and maybe he stole this from Nikola Tesla, that he's like, I've not failed. I found 10,000 ways for something not to work, or something to that effect. I could probably call this video 6 or 7 different ways that you can not make a two-tone sign with a CNC router. And let me explain for a second. So this was one of the first ones. This is in just white pine. And it came out okay, right? But I was using a water-based color called Unicorn Stain, and I was getting all these little fuzzies, which I know there's no chance you're gonna be able to see those, but there's fuzzies all over the place, and I didn't have a good stiff bristle brush. So I switched to MDF, which makes a super clean, real nice and tight, no fuzzies to speak of, nice and flat, beautiful finish. Problem is, yeah, Unicorn Spit's water-based, and so like as it would get wet, it would, as I was putting on or putting the second coat on, it bled over on the other things that I just couldn't get it to clean up, right? So then, and that one was shellacked first. This is what happens when you put Unicorn Spit on MDF directly. It just peels the hell off when you take the mask off. Another piece of pine, same equal number of fuzzies, but then the mask kind of pulled up around the edges, and going in to fix those, that didn't work. This one just looks like a hot mess. Didn't even get to the point where I could do the two-tone. So yeah, again, if you put anything water-based on MDF, it's gonna suck. And this was the last chance, or the last iteration, and I didn't even bother peeling the rest of it off because it pulled the freaking paint off. This one was shellacked first. Really beautiful finish with spray paint, which is awesome, by the way. I mean, like, people kind of frown away from spray paint for some reason, but like, it really had a beautiful finish on it. But I left the mask on too long, and so when I went to take it off, it had then become part of it. So what we're gonna do today, from all of these lessons learned, and apparently the moment I started using my CNC machine, I completely forgot how to finish wood. We're gonna cut it to size. We're gonna put 2 coats of shellac on it with sanding in between. Then we'll paint it, sand it, paint it. So we get a really super nice finish on it. We'll mask it, we'll throw it in the CNC machine. We'll put another coat of shellac in the new spot so that the MDF does not absorb it. And then paint it, peel it, and hopefully finally have a nice one of these, because that is 6 failures so far. And if you guys know what the price of wood is, yeah, it was not a cheap screw up. So let's get started. You right now, my friend Jared is watching this video saying, "Gotchi, that is too much paint." To which I say, "Don't tell me how to live." Now we wait. Now that the paint has dried, you may have noticed a few outfit changes. So we started off with the shellac. I got 2 coats of that on there, sanded in between coats, and then did 2 coats of paint and sanded in between. So now we have a pretty good finish. It is not a mirror finish, and that was almost intentional. I mean, I say almost intentional, but what I could have done was, once the shellac was on there, before I put the paint on there, was put a coat of like a building primer on it, like you would do a car. Because that would allow you to, sand it nice and smooth, hit it with progressive rates of sandpaper. Piece of fuzz on my head. And yeah, then you could get basically a mirror shine, but it's still wood. And so, it's supposed to look like wood. If I wanted to do this out of poly or something like that, I could. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this Oramask 813, I think it's 813, and apply it, trim it, load it on the machine, make sure we zero everything and get to cutting. So I'm just gonna do that part, and you'll probably see little pop-ups here and there about what we're doing. So yeah, let's do it.
this is the part I've been really worried about. If you recall, on the last one that the paint came out really good on, it pulled the paint off. But you know, everything else looks super nice. And I didn't film this, but between coats, I sanded, you know, in between all the cracks and got it nice and smooth in certain areas. So yeah, I 2 coats of shellac, sanded, because it always will bring some grain up to the top, even though it's not, you know, grainy wood, it's basically sawdust and glue. But you will always see some form of grain in everything that you do unless you really like prime it and sand the crap out of it. Whew, I'm actually nervous. I'm legitimately nervous about this because this will be number 7 if this doesn't go well. Well, there you have it. It actually worked. Shocked, frankly. So what I'm going to do is clean it up a little bit more. I'm going to take some of the paint, I'm going to put it on a brush and touch up a couple of these spots where the knife got in a little bit, which shouldn't be too bad. I'll probably wipe it down with some alcohol or something to get my fingerprints off of it. Then I will... what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put a mask around the whole thing and then spray the edge in that blue once I've touched everything up. But yeah, there you go. Two-tone on MDF. Finally. Do you understand? Do you understand how long this has taken me? Not that I'm freaking out or anything, but this has been weeks in the making and a lot of wasted material. So I am so happy about this. This calls for a beer. So, till we meet again, remember to drive fast, take chances, and safety third. Good night.